GuideStar, which allows the posting of Form 990s for nonprofits.
Yeah. Now, GuideStar,
yes.
Our viewers probably wouldn't know what that meant.
Yeah.
What do you mean by GuideStar?
GuideStar, it's www.guidestar.com. One of the things I really like about that particular site is you can go to that site and look up the name of a charity, and it will show you. It has a ranking system of 1 through 5 stars on how they perceive their financial health in terms of how much is spent on fundraising, administration, things other than delivering program.
Now, do you subscribe? Does a ministry, an organization subscribe to that?
Anyone can go on and look at it, and you can take a look and look up a ministry and see.
So a ministry, whether or not a ministry wants to be on GuideStar or not, they are?
Oh, they are reviewed by GuideStar whether or not they want to be.
Oh, okay. Okay.
One of the things I like about that is it's a third-party view. Another thing that I encourage, and we're talking about.
We have a break.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. We have a break. I'm getting this. Yes. That means there's a break, and my producer gets very upset if I don't take a break.
All right, sure.
So we have a break. We'll be right back, and we will continue. I want to talk about legal and moral, the difference between legal and moral responsibility as ministries. We'll talk about that when we come back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I'm talking with Doug Shaw of Doug Shaw & Associates, and we're talking about accountability within nonprofit organizations such as TLN. And in the first part of the program, we talked about the investigation of, actually it's an acquiring. At this point, it's not an investigation. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
It's a request.
For information.
And if I'm correct, Senator Grassley's office said today that they're hoping that all of these ministries will comply and send in this requested information.
Yeah, I think he reiterated that again today. That is his hope.
Yeah. Legal responsibility, moral responsibility.
Yes.
How do you, as a person that works with ministries and fundraising, define that difference?
Well, I think that we know the letter of the law. The IRS is part of the process there that helps us to understand what is tax exempt, what is appropriate, what is inappropriate in terms of write-offs and spending and so forth, legitimate and illegitimate business expenses. As the church, and I use the word in the largest sense at this point, as the church we have an obligation to go further than the law. I believe we are to be presenting ourselves above reproach. And in so doing, we need to practice full disclosure. We need to not raise questions on the part of the average person as to are we legitimate or not. I think there's been many opportunities, or I should say many occasions in the past where skepticism has arisen because of shady dealings and suspicious activities in terms of how money is used. As believers, as ministries that are called to carry out some aspect of God's calling on their life in terms of fulfilling mission, there needs to be an over and above sense of we're going to do this whether we are required by law or not.
Yeah. What do you recommend to the ministries that you represent in terms of criteria that puts them above just the legal and into the moral aspect? And the second part of the question is, what would you say to a viewer who is watching this program today that they should look for if they're in the process of making a decision about supporting a ministry?
To your first question, to the organization I would say, and we do say, if there's any question in your mind about is this a good decision, is it legal, is it moral or ethical, if there's a question about it, don't go there. Make sure that what you are doing is perceived as doing good, being faithful to God's word, being faithful to what you know to be true and ethical and right. You want to abstain from the appearance of evil. That's exactly what you want to stay away from. Yeah. Now that's to the organization. Now to the donor, be careful who you give to. Now I do want to say this. One of my reasons for wanting to be able to speak like this, and I appreciate your having me here, is that I really don't want to discourage people from giving. I really think giving is a mandate, scriptural mandate. I think it's something we need to do, and the greatest benefit goes to us as the giver.
And to some degree, it's the natural response of a believer.
Absolutely. Money follows ministry is one of the axioms we have in fundraising. And I don't want to in any way discourage people from giving, but I want to encourage them to be careful and know who they're giving to. And I think, thankfully, with the internet, there's ways to take a look, like we mentioned earlier, through the Evangelical Council for Financial Accountability, through organizations like GuideStar that I mentioned earlier, where they can go online and take a look and see how an organization is rated. But also, I think it's very possible to take a look at an organization's mission statement and find out, are they doing something that you really believe in? Are they disclosing their finances to you? You can also look at board membership. And I think that's a real key issue, Jerry, because I think if you take a look at board members, are they all family members? Are they outside members that can hold an organization accountable? I think power is a real issue here as well.
And when an organization has been accepted, they have applied and then they've been accepted by ECFA,
Yes.
then they do have a board that's accountable.
Yes, they do.
And ECFA has the opportunity, has the choice as each year as to whether or not they would like to come in and ask for more information than has been submitted to ECFA. So when an organization is a member then of ECFA, you have a pretty good idea
Yes.
that they are accountable, that their board is in good shape and that
Yes.
they're accountable. It's not a 100% guarantee, but it really is